Okay, folks, today we're discussing PathofMatth has been suspended from Path of Exile. Now, if you want just the quick nitty-gritty version of it, PathofMatth has been suspended because he basically came out on his Twitch channel and his Twitter and he attacked the lead developer of the game. Now, in a nutshell, that sounds right. You can't really do that. I'm not sat here preaching that I'm perfect. Myself, I have been permanently suspended from GGZII. However, the circumstances were a lot different, which we can talk about. But PathofMatth effectively has gone on, and he has gone on to say a few things. He got banned for staff abuse. If you want to look at some context, he is going ahead and saying anything that can be considered staff abuse, like saying GGG sucks or the changes are fucking stupid, isn't bannable. Vent, in my opinion, is loud but not exactly illegal. And that's true. Saying that the game is stupid or that the company sucks is not going to get you banned, or it shouldn't do. I actually was banned from GGZII for giving fair critique. This is another story, but this is not fair critique. This is somebody that has said, I can't believe the bold fucking retard wants PoE to become Diablo 2, but 20 years later. So he's literally calling out on his verified partnered Twitch account, where he's sponsored by Logitech, whoever this is, CoinSmart, and some other people, right? The lead developer is a retard, right? Which, look, I understand you're mega frustrated and you might say that shit in private, but come on, like, that's pretty ridiculous to say. And it's more ridiculous because this isn't like some trash company. I think this is the point I want to get across. I'm not condoning this behavior, but if, say, scumbag Activision pulled some bullshit and he was to be like, oh, this company's retarded X and Y, right? You could sort of maybe understand the frustration. But the thing is with Path of Exile, which is what I said a day ago when he said in his video crafting was dead, I said, why do all the streamers have to call GGG dumb? Just appears very rude. It doesn't mean they're always correct and need to act like these elitist C word to the people that almost employ them via proxy. And GGG do employ this guy via proxy, and he was acting like an elitist. And that's the truth. That's the impression that I've got from it. It was quite elitist. And going on a rampage and then doubling down on that, not to mention he also said it live.
Like, how fucking retarded are you? You fucking brain dead bald fuck. I guess the more hair you lose, the more fucking IQ you lose. And now that he's...
So the crazy thing about this is he's obviously going on a massive rampage about the lead developer. But we can see here, what's this? I don't know what this means. Is somebody donated $5,300 to him, or is that the total amount? I don't know what that means. But it looks like he's doing pretty well for himself. He's basically got his account permanently banned from the game for, rightly so, straight up attacking a developer. Now, people that know my history might think this is kind of ironic coming from me. So my history is I made a YouTube channel for GGZII, right? And for the longest time, we discussed GGZII, and I built up a big community discussing GGZII, the balance, and what needed to happen. One day, I signed into the forum, and the new person that was employed banned me for, again, similar to PathofMatth, staff abuse. And we as a community actually went through every single post on the forum, and there is literally nothing. In fact, the developers follow me. They still watch my stream. They give me supporter packs. They still like me. And I was, quote, making their job easier. It was just happened to be that some random employees really didn't like the fact I was critiquing their game and kicked me off it. Then, when I'd got kicked off it, I basically said, this is absolutely bollocks, and I'm not apologising. And that's kind of the extent of what happened. There was some drama on Twitter where the new team were attacking me, all the old devs have left. And this was a team that weren't happy that their game was being critiqued and tried to silence me. That's basically what happened. The difference here is this isn't really critique that PathofMatth is doing. He's just calling somebody a bold fucking retard. And I want to make this clear that I'm not a Mr. PC guy. I understand that people rage and say shit, and to me, it's like kind of whatever. But it's confusing that he's doing it at Path of Exile. That is the thing that's confusing to me. Because Path of Exile, to me, is a really, really great game that keeps improving. Now, there has been a bad patch, right? There has been a bad patch. And you can see on my channel that I have done a couple of videos talking about the bad patch, but I actually said that, look, it's a bit of a slippery slope, but GGG have a track history of fixing it, and they probably will fix it, so I'll carry on playing, right? Path of Exile is Chris's, like, baby, right? And I'm very, very surprised that people dislike GGG as a company so strongly, because for me, I came from Gears 5. We had no updates in like 2 years. There was basically no content. You had to fight for every single drop. In Path of Exile, there is so much content, and every single 3 months that you go ahead and you get a new expansion, right? There is a ton of content. Whether you think that content is good or not, that's by the by. There is a ton of content. And their sort of issue is they're not recognizing just how involved they are with the community in comparison to other companies. So, for example, there's the guy that reviews all those MMO games, Josh. Is he called Josh someone? He recently started playing the game, and GGG found, hey, you know, he's the guy who started playing the game, and I like his content. If you ever want to hop in Discord and have a chat for an hour, you can do. Other games companies aren't doing this shit. It's not for PR. Chris actually does care about his game, and people will call me a GGG apologist and all of this stuff, but the truth is, there aren't many games companies out there that will sit down with a community and do a podcast and do talks, which is ironically what got me to stuck around with Gears 5, because the previous developers used to do these developer blogs, sort of like Path of Exile does with Bayclass, and you can hear from the developer and their thoughts and opinions, and whether you agree with their thoughts or opinions, the interesting thing to me as a critique channel was, okay, I might not agree with all of their points, but I can see where they're coming from, and there's a conversation, which is, I think, what GGG do really well. And there's been a history of the game improving. If we look at where it started to where it is now, it's growing exponentially. There's a ton of content. It's one of the most in-depth games possible, while still remaining somewhat accessible. And what PathofMatth did is he completely freaked out, saying, if you can see in the thumbnail, all these videos are useless, crafting is dead. And I get it, that they've changed the game a lot, that crafting is, all the old explanations are worthless. But here's the thing, I have a ton of content on my channel that is worthless. That's kind of what happens, and that is what they're not understanding, is that is part of being an ever-evolving game. So the fact that Path of Exile does change a lot to merit that almost a whole channel can be made worthless, in a way can be looked at as a bad thing and a good thing, right? They are always changing the game, they're always tweaking it, they're always trying to improve, and that to me is interesting, because you're playing an ever-evolving game, and part of playing an ever-evolving game means that, yeah, my videos the other year that got Tailwind crafting boots, they're dead now. That video's dead. It might have got 20,000 views at the time, but the way to craft Tailwind boots now has probably completely changed. And that's okay. That's another opportunity for you to make content, and you might not like the content or whatever. I understand that it's frustrating, but a lot of it is the complete 1%. I understand getting incredibly angry, say, like, if I was playing Gears 5, which I was, and for the first literal, like, well, it's still going on now, you can't really get EU servers. That, to me, for a AAA game, you can't play on the correct server, and you're playing against other people that have 200 ping. That's a big issue, right? You can have a bit of a nerd rage at that. When you're so upset that the expenditure of a +2 amulet is too expensive, and it makes stuff impossible to make, then I think we need to have a sense of a reality check, and realize he's paid to play Path of Exile. He's sponsored to play Path of Exile. Even if Path of Exile was terrible, people would tune into his stream and subscribe and donate. And he needs to realize how lucky of a position he was in. You know, I wasn't paid to play Gears 5 or sponsored or you know, earning money off YouTube or whatever. So I could be a little bit of an edgelord at times, you know, and poke the bear a little bit. But when you're in this position, like, you can't and you shouldn't be saying that about Chris Wilson, because Chris Wilson's like an absolutely top developer. Like, people will think, oh, this guy's just sucking off GGG, he loves GG, but no, he actually is. Like, when you, well, he's called, the names just come to me, Josh Strife, Path of Exile. Like, when are you gonna get a Call of Duty, when are you gonna get a Call of Duty dev do this? Imagine, a semi-large YouTuber starts playing Call of Duty for the first time. Do you think they'll be on the phone to him and be like explaining all of their business model and theories and everything over like multiple hours on Discord whilst they just have a chill chat? And by the way, this wasn't even like pressurized. Like, Chris was like, we can just do this off stream. I just want to chat to you. You don't have to record it. There's no PR or anything. So the fact that they do this and you can get an insight into how the game is made and everything is fantastic. To say that Chris Wilson is some sort of, quote, bold retard that doesn't care is incredibly disrespectful. This isn't like Blizzard allegations or Riot allegations of misconduct and it's some horrible company. From what I can see from the outside looking in, GGG have worked on this game. Path of Exile is this guy's baby and he keeps trying to make it better. Yes, this patch does fucking suck, but the track history of Path of Exile leads me to believe that they will fix it. And here's the thing, if they don't fix it, and for quite a few months the game sucks, we can go and play other games. That's the great thing about video games, is there's always another game to go and play. If you're really not enjoying this league, and it's your job to play Path of Exile, then give you feedback and then just move on and come back if it gets fixed and if it doesn't. Going on this massive rampage is crazy. You know, we have, I don't know if he's done any more tweets or anything like that, but look, I just wanted to point out that I understand that you get involved in critiquing the game and you want to make the game better and then you've ended up being suspended. I've literally been there for another game. Again, my situation was a lot different, but it is a bit bad when he says things like this. All right, I got a response. So my consequence is the endless amount of hours and thousands of dollars I've spent on the game. I'm going to do what MP did and step out. Now, MP got banned, if you don't know. MP got banned because he killed a load of monsters in such a manner that spewed out a load of loot, and he showcased the bug, and he ended up getting banned. Sorry, I've got really bad hay fever and I've just been out for a walk. And he got suspended from the game for a leak. They said, we shouldn't have you showcasing bugs even though you fucked up and you didn't really mean to show it. And MP said, all right, I'm going to take a month off. This is different. MP didn't do anything like PathofMatth. PathofMatth has literally gone out on a whim and absolutely shit-taught the main developer. I think MP even says, yeah, don't bring me into this. And, you know, there's a difference between like getting upset when the game goes downhill and losing the plot completely. Like, you can lose the plot at Blizzard or Summit or whatever, but GGG are a pretty chill company. So, you know, he's saying that I don't want it to take a toll on me mentally. It's not worth it. I've deleted everything. Let's see what happens. Now, here's the thing. He's actually reached out to GGG, and this is where to me this is like the icing on the cake. He's reached out to GGG and asked if what's going on, and they all immediately responded and said, you're welcome to make a new account and play. So what PathofMatth literally could do is he could go and make a brand new account, start the league, start streaming. He'd probably have a ton of people go check out of his stream and he'd make a load of money from donations because that's how the world works these days. And then he can just carry on playing the game and he can apologize and say, you know what, I was a complete fucking idiot. GGG have made a really good game. I apologize. The problem he's got here is this now means he's got a cross against his name. GGG aren't going to invite him into any events. They're not going to treat him favorably probably. So he's kind of fucked up in that regard, but he still could make something of it. He could still stream Path of Exile and have a grand old time if he just comes back. This is how I want to explain the situation. When it happened to me, I was never told I was suspended. I just happened to sign in one day and find out I was kicked off Gears 5, and we still don't know the reason. The reason is basically that I critiqued their game in a fair manner, a manner that, you know, the devs said, you made our job easier. They all left, and the new devs basically didn't like me. It's been a year and nobody's ever responded to me. When I make a new account and I fill in the little location for your gamer tag, and they say, oh, you're having trouble signing in, what's your gamer tag? If I put in any other gamer tag other than mine, I get a response. When I put mine in, I don't get a response. It's the same on Reddit. If I make a new Reddit account and ping the devs and say, hey, I can't sign in, and they say, oh, what's your gamer tag? And I say, blah, 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 then they stop communicating with me. So they're not even communicating or explaining what I did, right? GGG here have at least got the decency, after being called a bold retard and all of this shit, to immediately let you go and play the game again and just say, just follow the terms of service and don't be a fucking idiot, basically. And we're still not seeing much of an apology. You know, if I had to guess, Chris doesn't know I exist and this was not a direct decision. Of course Chris knows. This is like maybe like where I think the guy could be a little bit out of touch. You know, if you're Chris Wilson, who's so heavily involved in the community, that this guy getting banned is going to go to the front page of Reddit and you need a good reason. He obviously knows. Like, there's a little bit of accountability needed here, and that's coming from me. So yeah, I really don't think GGG deserve this much hate. Last night I played, let's have a look, right? You'll be able to tell based off my Twitch stream. If you want to check me out on Twitch and watch me play some Flame Golems, you can do. If I go to my, I've played 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, and 6. So each evening I've been hopping on towards the end of the evening for about 3 hours. Sometimes I would have played longer. I haven't been enjoying the league that much, so I've played a little bit less. But I'm still enjoying it, and when I stop enjoying it, I put it down. I get it that the game isn't in the best spot it's ever been in, but this was just way over the top. And the reason I'm making this video isn't particularly to point the finger at PathofMatth and say, you know, you're an idiot and I'm the best person ever. But it was evidently coming. And like I said, I don't see why streamers have to call people dumb. I don't see why they have to act elitist. It's the same with professional players in other regions of games. Professional players and players that are at the top of the industry of like streaming seem to think they know more than the devs. Yes, a lot of the time they do, but that doesn't give you the right to just be an absolute wanker. The guy should just apologize. You should send a private video to Chris and say, look, I was in the heat of the moment. I really do apologize. And then make a new account and just say, I really do apologize, and move on. That's what you should do. But at the moment, maybe we're in the denial stage. That's all I've really got to say on the matter. Just way over the top, and I don't think GGG merit that much hate, because yeah, that's what I was going to say. What the big thing here is, whilst all this is going on, I want you to think about this, and this is where I'm talking about context and stuff. So whilst all of this is going on, all of these changes are happening, all of this high level of communication is going on, people won't think this is high level. People won't think this is a high level of communication, but constantly being involved on Reddit and constantly having the lead developer give his thoughts and opinions, that is very, very rare. And you should be very pleased that that even happens. Like the fact that Chris Wilson is on this Reddit so much and involved, to then say he doesn't care is crazy. And whilst all this is going on, and whilst they've been making all of the leagues, they're making Path of Exile 2. Like, people are forgetting that. So yeah, some of the changes maybe they're doing at the moment might be a bit shit, but they're probably in tandem with the idea of Path of Exile 2, and they're experimenting with some stuff. And I've seen ridiculous things like it's been the weekend and they've not even responded to all the outrage. The level of delusion, like I say, there has been there was no EU servers for like 5 months of Gears 5. We didn't even get a response. I was kicked off the game. The entire community had a big outcry, like, why have I been kicked off the game? Why has Z been kicked off the game? No response for a year and a half. There are people out there playing on the wrong ping and no servers for 2 years, no response. The fact that this company is even responded within 48 hours is crazy to me. Like, I love reading all the Path of Exile stuff because of how involved they are. And maybe you can't see the wood for the trees, so to speak. But if you go and play other games, you won't find this level of clarity anywhere. So shitting on GGG for literally not perfectly responding within 24 hours is crazy. That might seem like a long time to you, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. So just everybody have a moment of calm. The game's going to be fine. It's going to improve. Go and play your build. Go and enjoy yourself. That's all I've got to say.